First of all, before we start, leave a comment down below if you own a 70-200 and why you love it or hate it. In this box is nothing more than paper and some plastic. And this is what's actually in the box. This is a carrying pouch. If I can get... It's pretty rugged if you ask me, and a nice addition to the price. Pretty nice, but I don't use it. Alright, then let's talk about this lens. I mean, it's a huge lens, but it's a small lens compared to other lenses. My first impression is the lens is tech sharp. I'm really impressed about the quality of the images that came out of this lens and out of the camera, of course. But I guess you wouldn't probably see a huge difference between the f2.8 G Master version and the f4 version, even if you zoom 200% into your image on your computer in Photoshop or Lightroom. So that's pretty impressive, I gotta say. A huge selling point for the f4 version instead of the f2.8 version is the size and the weight, because it's almost half the weight of the f2.8 version and is smaller. I would prefer to bring this with me on a mountain instead of a 2.8 version, because it's so heavy that, yeah, this is very lightweight for a 200mm lens, 70-200. So, huge selling point. The price is half the price of the 2.8 version, which is in my opinion unnecessarily expensive. You don't need it. it's too expensive to it's just too expensive to recommend to anyone if there is a f4 version which is that good. The autofocus is really fast and accurate. I didn't expect that, to be honest with you. I thought the f4 version, which costs half the price of the G Master version, isn't that great, but it's great. It's really great, I gotta say. It's on the point where it should be and it's fast. And what do you want more? Let's talk about this little piece here, which is removable via this screw. You can unscrew it and take it off or leave it on the lens or whatever. But this lens has a little screw in it, and this is for the tripod. And I think it's pretty handy to have that on a lens like this. Especially if you use a camera like the Sony a6000 series lineup, the smaller cameras, the lightweighter cameras. It can get really heavy on the lens mount, on the camera. And I would prefer to use it with this little tripod mounting bracket on. But I guess it's no problem with a camera like a Sony a7R II, the A7 series with a battery grip on it, which is pretty heavy. One downside on this lens, but it's a small downside. I guess 99% of the people who are buying a 2.8 wouldn't even need a 2.8. They would be completely fine with a f4 if you ask me. And that's dark environments and locations, places where the light is almost gone or there isn't much light at all the time. So you have only an f4, but that's with every f4 lens the problem. You don't have much light. You lose an extra f-stop of light. You would have to crank up the ISO to make the image look like the 2.8 version, but yeah, you got more ISO, more noise, or a less high shutter speed, and yeah. That's the only downside on the f4 version. So if you're shooting weddings with a dark environment or whatnot, get the 2.8 version, because then it's all worth it. But for all the other cases, it's not worth it if you ask me. So this lens is completely fine, and that's why I decided to get the f4 version and not the 2.8 version. Why did I get a telephoto lens like this? And the reason behind this is I love to shoot car-related stuff, and it compresses the background at this focal range between 70-200 extremely to a milky and bokeh-licious background. Yeah, that's a reason for longer lenses. And if you're planning on shooting people's emotions or animals, then it's a longer telephoto lens a must, because on people you get the fully unstaged emotions from them, because they don't notice you right away. So it's unstaged, it's real, it's just how it should be, and not staged like, aha, yeah, I've seen you, and yeah, you know. So on events and animals, it's awesome, because they don't notice you, as I said before, and you can take the full advantage of that. this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little first impression about the Sony 70-200 F4 G OSS. And I will test it in the next few weeks / months, and to put it through its paces and see what it's capable of. And so don't expect a full review anytime soon. But anyways, thanks for watching, have a great time, don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already, and Team Grey, you rock!